Hello, everybody on Racer H2O, and welcome to beautiful Chandler, Arizona for the 2021 Drag Boat Nationals right here at Firebird Lake at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. We are so excited that you guys decided to tune in today because you are in for a treat. 3 days of the greatest racing that you have probably ever seen, at least on the water. 135 plus boats entered competition so far, and they are still registering as we speak. So it is going to be a phenomenal weekend of racing. So we are ready to do our opening ceremonies. So really quick, if you will, please remove your hats as brother Mike Griffith from Trinity Racing Ministries leads us in our invocation.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for a glorious morning. Thank you for this beautiful weather that you bestowed us with. Lord, we're fixing to put these hot rods in the water, and we ask above all that you keep us safe. We thank you for the SDBA, Wild Horse Pass, and all the sponsors that make this possible, and all the staff that's out here working hard to see that we have a great day. Lord, we're able to do this because we live in a country where we're free. That's because of our military. Wherever they may be this morning, Lord, you watch over them, keep your hand of protection on them, and pour your blessings and favor out on them. Lord, it's about time now that we go drag boat racing, and as always, I have those 3 requests. Lord, we're looking for a loud day. Lord, we're looking for a fast day. But above all, Father, we're looking for that safe day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And if you haven't done so already, please rise as Miss Jordan Cox delivers our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ma'am, and it is just about time to make history in the Canyon State, ladies and gentlemen. Personal watercraft getting on the hold rope as we speak, and we will be drag boat racing here in beautiful Chandler, Arizona. So we are just a few minutes away from showtime.
I heard it like start beeping. Okay.
so far from this place. Don't let me down, down. Hard to think straight when you look like an angel, my sweet escape. Don't let me down, down.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
Quickly go to that clock, or we don't do that? Okay, cool.
Todd Byler, please call Craig Franklin on the radio, please. Todd Byler, call Craig on the radio. All right, so last minute check. Make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Todd Byler out there checking the racetrack over there in the left-hand lane. We know that everything's good. We just like to trek and check, double check, triple check. I believe 5 personal watercrafts entered into this event. And then a whole bunch of other boats and a whole lot of other classes. I'm really excited about the blown gas flats. Those have got my interest. So I'm excited to see you guys rock it down the water. Listen up, our ramp volunteers, we need you guys to your assigned positions, please. Ramp volunteers, we need you to the ramps, please. All right, so all of our checks of the racetrack check out. Everything looks good, so we are ready for our first pair of personal watercraft. The first two to kick off a historic race for the Southern Drag Boat Association here at a historic place, Firebird Lake, Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park.
We have one.
All right, so Racer H2O is our live stream this weekend. So everybody that's here and you got family back home wanting to tune in, go to YouTube, Racer H2O on YouTube. They are live right now as Henry Rogers and Raythan Broadway will be our first two down the water. The Generator Supercenter, left-hand lane. Henry Rogers, bring me a beer and watch this. Out of Cement, Oklahoma. For Swan Transportation, Swan Pipeline Services, Big Dog Consulting Services, Raythan Broadway driving the Golden Child over the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel. Right-hand lane, powered by Larry Jeffers Race Cars. It looked like Henry Rogers, that thing went out there and skipped on him just a little bit. 11:03 with a 1 at 66 miles an hour. He was dialed in at an 11 flat. So 11:03, 66 miles an hour, Henry Rogers. But Raythan Broadway, how about it? 10:50 with a 7 on that 10:50 dial in at 67 miles an hour. And Raythan, after the first two, will be your number 1 qualifier so far. All right, so listen up. If anybody has a Mallory Super 3 mag, Hope Helm, she needs one. Mallory Super 3 mag. If you've got one in your trailer, Hope Helm needs one, please go find her. They would be greatly appreciated. A Mallory Super 3 mag. If you've got one, Hope Helm needs one. All right, so Raythan Broadway, like I said, I believe there are 5 personal watercrafts on property. And this is going to be a pretty special one. I do believe that Andy Reynolds has kind of like championship belts to give away to the number one qualifiers. You don't get the normal, green hat like we have all season long. But Andy Reynolds had a bunch of old blower belts laying around the shop, and he said, you know what, it'd be pretty cool if I could do something with these. So pretty much they're blower championship belts for our number one qualifiers here this weekend. So thank you, Andy Reynolds, for that. It's a really cool little deal. And it's going to be really cool to be able to get that from this historic place, this historic race. All right, so drivers, listen up. Drivers, listen up. Make sure that you have plenty of ramp help to go with you to the in and the out ramp, please. Be sure that you bring a couple of people with you to help you get loaded and unloaded. For some reason, our ramp help has gone MIA. So when you go to the in ramp and the out ramp, please bring a couple of people with you to help you get your boat in and out of the water. All right, so Sharon Holloway driving Too Much Fun, the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. And Lynn Blackburn, she calls that ski doing time 2 and is the fastest ski in the class by 1/10 of a second over Sharon Holloway. Lynn will be over in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. 10:30 predicted elapsed time for Lynn Blackburn, driving for Docks and Boats Rescue, Medina Lake, Bandera Family Dentistry, and S&E Construction. Sharon Holloway, 10:40, her predicted elapsed time. Off and running, Lynn Blackburn, 027 red, but it doesn't matter in qualifying. The red lights don't count. All she's looking for is at 10:30. She goes 10:31.6 at 69 miles an hour. Sharon Holloway, 10:93.4, 65 miles an hour on the 1040. So Wraith Broadway, I do believe we might have one more. Yep, one more PWC on the hold rope. Wraith Broadway still holding on to the number one qualifying spot by 7 thousandths of a second off the dial, which here in the first session is really, really, really good, because I'm pretty sure that Wraith Broadway's never been down Firebird Lake here at Wild Horse Pass. Matter of fact, a lot of these PWCs and a lot of racers here might not have been down it either. Of course, I know a lot of you have been here with a lot of different associations, but this is the first time that the Southern Drag Boat Association has come to Firebird Lake. We are so excited. Like I said, making history here in the Grand Canyon State. So. right, so as soon as everything is ready, our final personal watercraft go down the lake, and then we'll go into stock eliminator. So modified eliminator and top eliminator, you guys need to be on standby. Top eliminator, you need to be warming them up. Modified eliminator, you need to be on standby. You'll be next out. Of course, once again, we want to thank everybody watching along with Racer H2O. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself in your Parker Loungers with your RC Cola and your moon pies. We're going to have a really good time here this weekend. Jared, was that funny? I thought it was too. Thank you. Man, I'm so excited, so thankful to the Southern Drag Boat Association. Johnny Moto, of course, going to be my right-hand man here this weekend. Or, no, I'm going to be the one learning from him, so he's going to be doing all the hard work. And I'm just going to sit back and learn as much as I can, soak in as much knowledge as possible from old Johnny Moto. So thank you, sir, for being here. Going to be partners in crime this weekend. All right, so you're going to have to bear with us here for a second. Like I said, not much ramp help at the moment, so we're going to be a little slow starting things off. But Brian Marble is going to be in the Generator Super Center left-hand lane. Dialed in at 10 flat, which is the fastest dial that you can dial in the category of personal watercraft. Brian Marble going to try for that #1 qualifier belt, courtesy of Andy Reynolds. All right, here we go. You know, you can say what you want to, but 10 flat to 1,000 feet on a jet ski, that's pretty fast. 10:43.4. At 68.43 miles an hour, put Brian Marble in the #4 qualifying spot. Rathan Broadway, after the first qualifying session, your numero uno qualifier here in personal watercraft. I believe that'd be his second of 2021. So as stock eliminator, pull to the whole rope and in place. Drivers, don't forget, please bring a couple of crew members with you to the in-ramp and the out-ramp. Going to need all hands on deck, as much help as possible. And once again, I don't know if they've already found one, but Hope Helm is looking for a Mallory Super 3 mag, if anybody has one. A Mallory Super 3 mag. Hope Helm is needing one. So if you have one, please go find them over in the pits. Get them helped out, please. with Kevin Hotchkiss driving Bloodshot over in the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Going to be dialed in at 10:43. And it's boat number 921, but I know that that's not Brian Marble because it says Brian Marble is a modified eliminator boat, so have to get that all squared away. But boat 921 over the Extreme Racing Oil lane. So a 9 flat prediction. We finally got the name changed over. That's Sam Fee. I hope I say that right. Or Fay. 876 on the 9 flat at 92 miles an hour for Sam. And Kevin Hotchkiss, 1062.2 at 72.21 miles an hour. That'll put Kevin in the number 1 qualifying spot. Sam will go to the bottom of the sheet with the breakout. On the 9 flat, he goes 876.9 at 92 miles an hour for Sam. All right, so here comes Glenn Castens and Patrick Peterson. Glenn over in the Generator Supercenter, left-hand lane, driving Aqua Patina. Special thanks to Mom, Jen, Ronnie, Glenn's Mobile Tire and Auto, Gravel Gun, Splash Boat Rentals in Kingsland, Flagship Towing, JBS Underground, Hill Country Hydraulics, and Patrick Peterson over the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel, right-hand lane, driving El Diablo. Looking for 9 flat for Patrick Peterson. Glenn Castens, the slowest stock eliminator boat in the field, as far as I know, out in 1560. Glenn Cashins, 14:24 with a 3 at 44 miles an hour. Put him in the number 4 spot with another breakout to go to the bottom of the sheet. Patrick Peterson, 9:13.0 at 88 miles an hour on that 9 flat. So 30 red on the tree, but it doesn't matter here in qualifying once again. And Patrick Peterson takes over the number 1 qualifying spot. All right, so getting our next 2 stock eliminators into our computer system, getting them ready to go.
And this next pair coming out, we got the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel Machine, making memories, Paul Young. Paul Young, that right side of the racetrack, near side, and looking to run a 12.30, while the Collusion, Dustin Peterson's going to be in the left lane looking for an 8.50. So the right lane's going to leave first. The computer system's going to take into consideration the difference in their anticipated performance. Chase, Collusion, making memories out front. Green, both machines. Actually, the left lane was a little red on the leave, and getting there with a 9.28, so off the number there, looking for that 8.50 was the Collusion, Dustin Peterson, while Paul Young making memories. This memory will give him a 12.93.5, looking for that 12.30. Again, keep in mind these stock eliminators, first time out on the racetrack here at Wild Horse Pass Raceway at the Firebird Lake. Stock eliminator. Keep in mind they're anticipating a certain performance and trying to hit as close to that number as possible. And again, Colton, as you mentioned, a nice blower belt. It'll be autographed by Andy Reynolds. Going to go to the number one qualifier in each of our categories today.
Yeah, and like I said a while ago, thank you to Andy Reynolds for that. All year long, he's given the green number one qualifier hats like NHRA used to do. You know, it was a really cool deal. Had your class on it and the SDBA logo on it and everything, but Andy said that he wanted to do something a little different for such a unique and such a history-making race. So he had some old blower belts laying around from his Top Alcohol Hydro. So he said, you know what? Well, let's just do this, and this, and they actually look really, really cool. So it's going to be something really neat to hang on your in your trophy case or something like that if you were able to take that number one qualifier blower belt home with you from Phoenix.
And you can adjust it to any size, right? So
yeah, right.
If you want to really wear it. But that'll be cool. So Funk Racing, Caitlin Funk coming out of that right lane. That's the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel side of the racetrack. Faster than it should. Jack Ogle is going to be in the left side. Now, Jack Ogle, this is the machine looking for a 9-second run left. Funk Racing, Caitlin Funk, looking for a 9 even in the right side. So the stock eliminator. So the left lane gets there first. Again, they're both looking for 9 seconds even. The left side of the racetrack, faster than it should, Jack Ogle. He wasn't really faster than he could have been. He was looking for a 9, ran a 9.76.2. Caitlin Funk, she's got to work on that reaction time. Had a little trouble getting on the gas, coming off that holding rope and hitting the starting line with a 3.23 reaction time. Running through the top end of the race course with an 11.97. So I'm sure Keith Funk's going to be making some adjustments on the Caitlin Funk racing machine. Got a young lady coming out of the left lane. That's Ashley Winslet. Ashley Winslet. Looking for that 9-second even run. Sodali Tober. That's Seth Walls in the right lane.
Attention in the pits. Attention in the pits. Modified eliminator. Modified eliminator, we need you.
Modified to the round. Top eliminator be on standby. Pro eliminator be getting them warmed up.
So Vanishing Breed, Sodali Tober. Winslet, Wall. So Vanishing Breed with an 8:91.2, so ran a little under the number, did she, to Vanishing Breed. Ashley wins it. Great reaction time, .050, while Sodali Tober, Seth Walls, runs it through with a 9:44.1 at 89.72 miles an hour. The Fast Line Fabrication, Walls Tractor Repair, FPC Services, James and Judy Sheffield helping them out. Wayman Pitchford Incorporated, Schaefer Oils, Palmetto Whiskey, Buddy E.S. Johnson, William R. Pascal and Sons Fine Woodworking, Extreme Barbecue, Joe Yarbrough, Cooking for Christ, crew, Steve, Michelle, Jason, Shauna, Tag, Bruce, Sella, Shane, and Joe helping out the Sodali Tober Seth Walls machine, while the left lane, special shout out to Fast Line Fabrication, special thanks to Mom and Dad, Brian and Chantel, RESP, and of course, Trinity Ministries.
So once again, racers, do not forget to bring a couple of people with you to the in-ramp and the out-ramp to help out getting your boat in and out of the water, please. We don't have any ramp help as of yet, so it would help us out a lot if you could bring a couple of crew members with you to the in-ramp. Don't forget Modified Eliminator when he's to the in-ramp, please. So Mike King borrowed Miller time. That is Matt Miller's old boat that Mike King is driving. He's been driving it for a couple of races now. The Generator Super Center, left-hand lane out of Coweta, Oklahoma. For Tailwinds Inspection, William R. Gaddis Insurance, Brandy's Sassy Style, Bent Creek Dozer Services, Spangler's Weed Farm, and Window Tinting, Apex Custom Wrap. Special thanks to the wife and the family, and very special thanks to Matt Miller and Robert Anderson. Oh, no. Something happened to Mike King's hot rod. The boat, I do believe that it kind of started turning on him as soon as he let go of the hold rope and wasn't able to get down the racetrack. So that's going to be a no time coming up on the scoreboard for Mike King.
Rack Rumbler, the Emily Lander machine, going through with that 9:93.1 at 9 seconds on the dial for the stock eliminator category. So again, right now, Modified Eliminator should be making her way to the launch area. So Mod Eliminator making her way to the launch area.
Pro Eliminator, you need to be getting them warmed up. Pro Eliminator, be getting them warmed up. Top Eliminator, be on standby. We will be calling you after we get all of our modifieds to the end ramp. So Top Eliminator, be on standby, and Pro Eliminator, be getting them warmed up. All right, so yellow signal given by our starter, Gary Gray. Got to bring up Mike King. He's going to try it again over there in that borrowed Miller time machine. Generator Super Center left-hand lane. Who's over there in the Extreme Racing Oil right-hand lane?
That's the Carlton machine, Christopher Vaccaro. Vaccaro in the Chris Cook-owned machine. So Carlton, that's a nice name for a boat.
Oh, absolutely. I wonder if he's going to be dancing on it when he gets to the out-ramp. Isn't that a dance name?
Yeah, I
Carlton?
think so.
I think so. So Mike King, like I said, driving for Matt Miller, the Oklahoma-based machine. Both of them looking for 9 flat. Final call, Modified Eliminator to the ramp. Top Eliminator to the ramp, please. Top Eliminator to the ramp. Quick Eliminator, be getting them warmed up. Pro Eliminator, be on standby. Top Eliminator to the ramp, please. So Mike King on that 9 flat, 875 with a 4 at 90 miles an hour, a little bit quick. And Christopher Vaccaro, 894 with a 1, so he was a little bit closer to that 9 flat, about 600ths of a second off at 91 miles an hour. So with the double breakouts, both of them will go down to the bottom of the qualifying sheet. Mike King at 12th right now, and Christopher Vaccaro and the number 10 spot. As we still got quite a few stock eliminator boats to go. Stock eliminator usually a pretty big class, and we appreciate each and every one of you, no matter what class you're in, all the way from personal watercraft to top fuel hydro. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here in Phoenix with us. This is going to be phenomenal. 140 boats on the property. Probably the largest boat race of the entire 2021 season for anywhere. So this is really, really special as the next pair come up now.
Flirting with disaster, Max Titalo. So Max Titalo coming out of the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel lane.
Chris Wassinger, Rat Attack out of Garden Grove, California. Will be over that Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Both of them 9 flat on the dial-in prediction. Performance prediction, the dial-in, as it's otherwise known as. So current number 1 qualifier right now, Patrick Peterson. Swassinger 9:55 with a 0, 82 miles an hour. He will go to the number 4 qualifying spot. Max Titalo, number 9 qualifier with that 996, 79 miles an hour. Definitely not what they were looking for. Almost a second off of the dial in.
So we got the Sliver Machine, the Extreme Motor Oil and Fuel lane, right side of the racetrack. Wicked TNT, Tanya Scribner. Wicked TNT, Tanya Scribner, one of our ADBA competitors. Sliver, Steve Smith, out of Glendale, Arizona. It's about, 12, 13 miles from here. Just on the other side of the mountains. I like it. So again, it's stock eliminator, 9-second the index. Who's going to come closer to that number? Not running under. Well, I'll tell you what, Tanya Scribner is going to be very happy with that. You know, actually, the ADBA uses a little different tree than they utilize with the SDBA on the countdown. And she was worried about how the increments came down, but she had a great lead there at 0.42 reaction time, so 42 thousandths of a second. After that green light came on, she was at the starting line, running it through at a 9:45 at 74.95 at a mile an hour. Steve Smith, the Sliver boat, right lane, Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel Machine, goes through with the 9:11, 9:11.8 at 92 on a mile an hour. Interesting there, yes, the right lane was quicker, qualified better, but if it would have been a race, it would have been Tanya Scribner with that round win because she was a better lead.
And with that 9:11, Steve Smith takes over the number 1 qualifying spot from Patrick Peterson. As we continue on, our first modified eliminator pair, so we are now going to our 8 flat category. Jason Gothard driving happy hour out of San Angelo, Texas. Fastline Fabrications, FPC Services, James Judy Sheffield, Walls Tractor Repair, Buddy E.S. Johnson, Extreme Barbecue, Wayman Pitchford, Joe Yalbur on Palmetto Distillery. So 8 flat is the index right here in Modified Eliminator. The Surprise Arizona-based Noisy Boy, what they call the machine for Ron Baker over there in the Extreme Racing Oil right-hand lane. Looking for 8 flat, Jason Gothard. How about 7:57.7 at 112.23 miles an hour? Ron Baker 7:37, 105 miles an hour. I would say that the water is really, really fast this morning. The air is amazing out here in Arizona. The water is really fast. Jason Gothard, 0:14 reaction time, 7:57. That'll put him in the number 1 qualifying spot after the first, but with those breakouts, they will end up going down to the bottom of the qualifying sheet. Ron Baker, 7:37, 105 miles an hour. Couple of really, really fast runs. First pair of modified eliminator. Remember, looking for 8 flat and to go 7:37. Whew, that thing was hopped up and moving. All right, next pair. Kyle Harder driving flat roofless over here in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. And that says that it's Ron Baker, but Ron also just went down into the right lane, so I don't think that that's him unless that's Ron Baker Jr. Maybe. Going to be over there in the Generator Supercenter lane.
So an 8:09.3, Kyle Harder, the flat roofless machine, out of the right lane at a .256 reaction time. Left side of the racetrack, Fixius. Fixius goes through with a time of 8:54 at 92.526 on the mile an hour.
How about Kyle Harder? 8:09 at 102 miles an hour puts him in the number 1 qualifying spot. And Ron Baker's, we really don't know if that's the Ron Baker machine or not. It is Ron Baker. So Ron Baker, 8:54.2. That'll put him in the number 2 qualifying spot. Not breaking out is probably the best thing that they could have done on that one. Here comes Hardy Cole, driving Booger Red for Mickey Harlow out of Odessa, Texas, the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. I haven't seen that name Hardy Cole in a minute. Hardy out of Joplin, Missouri. Jet Boat Bills Performance. Sonia and Jimmy Owensby, 4A Pest Control, Dead Aim Racing, Carol McKinney. So there is 2 Ron Bakers. They are not the same person. Maybe they're related. I don't know. But
Both live in the same place. Surprise, surprise, right?
yeah, surprise, surprise, right? That was a good one.
Tom Blaitler, the Boneyard machine, left lane. Of course, Booger Red, driven by, as you mentioned, Hardy Cole. Mickey Harlow, Odessa, Texas, the owner of the machine. Joplin, Missouri. Custom Craft, Chevrolet powered, coming in at 511 cubic inches. Booger Red. Great leads, both machines.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like we got a new number 1 qualifier right lane. 8:05.2, 99.94 miles an hour. Hardy Cole driving the Booger Red, owned by Mickey Harlow. And how about great leads, both machines actually. 0:30 light left, 0:47 in the right lane, close I should say, but they're both on the red side. And again, Boneyard, Tom Blaitler going through with the 2 quick 8:92.4. 7:92.4 at 105.85 on a mile an hour. I'll get this, man. Switching systems here.
Oh, absolutely.
Got to flip my mind over.
So congratulations. I know Mickey Harlow is probably maybe at the end ramp. He's around here somewhere. Current number 1 qualifier now, Hardy Cole. 8:05.2, 99 miles an hour. Of course, Kyle Fawkes usually drives the Booger Red machine, but wasn't able to make it out here to Chandler. So Hardy Cole said, you know what? Hey, I'll drive the boat again. I got have helmet will travel is what they say. So I do know that's going to be Jesse James Jr. in the Outlaw coming up, left-hand side of the racetrack in the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Your 2021 SDBA High Points Champion and Modified Eliminator. Jesse James Jr. out of Tyler, Texas. David and Carrie Muller, Lone Star Mill, Big Mike and Ona, Just for Christmas Decor, and Eagle Motorsports over for Jesse James Jr. If this thing goes, it'll probably go, knowing the crew chief, 799.5, probably first hit out. Because I know that Randy Neal's got that thing pretty hopped up. And then Gavin Snyder driving 6 to midnight for his dad, Mickey. Out of Rio Medina, for Rio Medina Truck and Auto, Rio Fab Welding, Lilly Construction, Custom Powder Coating, 4-Way Bar, Damon Decker, and 212 Athletics. Special thanks to Uncle Jimbo and Aunt Sue for the motor and the transmission. Jeff Gibson Insurance, Racers Insuring Racers, Guild Mortgage, Reagan and Angie Everett, Rowdy T's, R&S Construction over there in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel. Right-hand lane for Gavin Snyder. Gavin, a couple of modified eliminator wins under his belt this year, and Jesse James, your champion, high points champion at SDBA. So the first rip for Jesse James Jr. goes 8:09.7, 100 at 95.89 miles an hour. Apologize. 14 thousandths of a second red. Gavin Snyder 7:87.5 at 110.39 miles an hour with an 0:29 red reaction time. So Jesse James, I do believe he might have been out of the throttle just a tick early with an 8:09.7, 95 miles an hour. Put him number 3 right now. Gavin Snyder with the breakout to go to 6th.
So Keith Funk coming out of the Generator Supercenter lane, that far side, the island side of the racetrack here at Firebird Lake, Wild Horse Pass Raceway. It's the Rat Rod, Keith Funk. The Funk family racing, having a couple boats out here this weekend. Mod Eliminator, Caitlin, out running in the stock eliminator category, Keith in the mod category. Keep in mind, number 1 qualifier for the time being, Hardy Cole.
Ooh, that was weird. That was strange. That was really strange, Johnny Moto.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith Funk having some problems there. All he could muster was a 14:27, so he's got some work to do there. It looked like something, as you mentioned, like up around the intake on the carburetor there. Like
maybe a rag or something. I don't know. That was just really strange. It looked like I was seeing some flash of some hot stuff coming out from the top of it. I don't know, but it was just that was really strange. So Keith Funk. But as far as I know, as of right now, the idea is to get 2 qualifying sessions today and 2 qualifying sessions tomorrow. So you still have 3 more shots to get it figured out. And Keith Funk, with that run that was not a breakout, will still go to 5th in qualifying because there have been a lot of 2 quick runs here in Modified Eliminator first session of qualifying. I do believe that'll bring us into top eliminator. Should be making their way to the hold rope now. Top eliminator, of course, our 7-second index category.
Well, you know, conditions are ideal, making some fast runs here. You know, the elevation here at Firebird International Raceway is 1,168 feet, and with 21% humidity, temperature at 61 degrees right now. That means the relative altitude comes in at about 1,546 feet. So that's what you call ideal conditions for making horsepower. I think as things warm up throughout the day, it's definitely going to become slower for the engines, but that's when it comes time for the crew chiefs to make their adjustments to get better performance.
I'm sorry, Johnny. It is currently at Wild Horse Pass, 60.47 degrees. Density altitude 1,335 feet above sea level. And there's no humidity, 21% humidity in the air. So really, really good weather conditions right now as Tyler Erskine Looks That Kill, the name of the boat on the left-hand side of the racetrack. And Tony Dunlap driving El Diablo. Here, no, this is still modified eliminator. And a couple of more to come. Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. Looking for 8 flat on the scoreboards. Tyler Urshan, left-hand lane. Tony Dunlap in the right. Man, what a beautiful, beautiful rooster tail on Tony Dunlap's machine. 7:23.0, 109 miles an hour. That's quick, and that'll put him in the number 11 spot. Tyler Urshan, 8:22.3 at 96 miles an hour will put him at number 4 as it sits right now. Tony Dunlap, like I said, what a rooster tail, man. That was absolutely beautiful going down the racetrack, and it was fast.
Well, I tell you what, he could almost make some adjustments and drop down if he could get it any quicker than that, go to the 7-second index. So El Diablo, Tony Dunlap. All he's got to do is slow it down 3/4 of a second if he wants to stick with that category.
Yeah, just 3/4 of a second, you know.
Well, it's easier to slow something down than to get something out of it that isn't there.
Exactly. But it's those weather conditions we were just talking about, you know, just 1,300 feet above sea level. That is the density altitude, which takes into consideration temperature, humidity, barometric pressure, and all that good stuff, and relative elevation. So we're looking at really good conditions right now. A high today of about 81, 82 degrees, so it's going to be really, really nice and really fast. Tow drivers, please bring the crew that loads the boat or unloads the boat at the in ramp. Please take them with you to the out ramp. There is no help down there. There's one person down there trying to load boats up, so please, crews, go to the out ramp with your tow drivers, please.
So Fork and Hostile, I like that. Fork and Hostile, that's Sean Martirosin, and we'll see how he can do out of the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel lane, while the Double Trouble, Kyle Harrington, is going to be in the left side from Bolivia. All the way, Bolivia, North Carolina. Well, that's far.
Bolivia, North Carolina. Ooh. That made me tired just saying that.
So what you see there, the left lane with a 9:09.90, got there first with a 0.308 reaction time, while Fork and Hostile actually ran a quicker ET, 9:042. So he was looking for a 9 flat, and
goes 9:04, and that is a stock eliminator boat, so that will put Sean was a little bit late getting to the end ramp, which is fine, you know, if you get out there. So most of the time, sometimes we'll run you and let you make your qualifying attempt. That'll put him in the number 1 qualifying spot in stock eliminator. He was looking for 9 flat, goes 9:04 at 88 miles an hour. So Sean Martirosin will be your number 1 qualifier after the first session. Hopefully that'll round out the first session of stock eliminator. Final call, top eliminator. Final call, top eliminator. I need pro eliminator. Pro eliminator to the ramp, please. Pro eliminator to the ramp. Quick eliminator, be on standby. Blown gas flats, be getting them warmed up. Blown gas flats, be getting them warmed up.
Bill Gleason. Blitzen down that left lane.
Happy anniversary to you.
And Bill Glisson, 8:01. 8:01 with a 5 at
Wow.
a speed of 103 in a mile an hour. Boy, that baby was looking good on that run.
That was awesome. That outboard boat was getting it. So new number 1 qualifier, knocking Hardy Cole off the top spot, 8:01.5 at 103 miles an hour. The 8:01 is the new standard. If you want the number 1 qualifying spot in modified eliminator, that is awesome.
Start getting hard to see.
All right, so once again, I need Pro Eliminator on each to the end ramp, please. Pro Eliminator on each to the end ramp, Quick Eliminator, be on standby, blown gas flats, be getting them warmed up. Pro Eliminator to the end ramp, please. All right, so we're doing our little shuffle on a hold rope. Getting what I believe, which I said this earlier, so don't hold me to it. I'm not going to put money on it, but I think top eliminator is coming up now. I think that was our last modified eliminator, but like I said, I've been wrong before. I can't be wrong again. Oh, there is a top eliminator boat, but I don't know. There's a stock. It says a stock eliminator on the left side, so.
No clue, Bill McGuinn
Yeah.
on that right lane. That's the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel side. Curtis 500, 555 cubic inch Chevrolet. Kenny Myers, Joe Shelfo, Lifeline. Special thanks to with a shout out to Larry Flores, Kevin Foote, Dave Lipinski, crew chief Peggy Owens. So no clue, Bill McGuinn, right side of the racetrack.
Now it doesn't say it on here, but I'm pretty sure that this is pretty much a home race for Bill McGuinn. I think he's from the great state of Arizona, I do believe. I don't, like I said, don't hold me to that. It's not on the announcer card. So, but if this is, Bill is as tough as they come, absolutely tough. And Kevin Hibden driving Trump money out of Peralta, New Mexico. Bud Long Motorsports, Albuquerque Plumbing, Nelson Speed and Marine, and that is a modified eliminator machine. So he is looking for 8 flat in the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Bill McGuinn over here in the Extreme Racing Oil right-hand lane is looking for 7 flat because that is a top eliminator boat. I don't know what I just Really nice pass for Bill McGuinn, 746 with an 8 at 102 miles an hour. And since he is the first top eliminator boat to go down the water, he will be your number 1 qualifier. Kevin Hibden goes 889.6 at 86 miles an hour, not the run that he was looking for. But Hibden will go to number 7 in modified eliminator qualifying. And we do have another modified boat coming up. Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Don't know who it's going to be just yet.
You know, it's the first qualifying session of the day. You know, like I said, it takes a little bit to get into a rhythm sometimes.
And as you mentioned earlier, Colton, a lot of the boats were getting tacked this morning too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Somebody might miss their call, but
Absolutely. But you know, I mean, when you have 140, almost 150 boats on property, you know, things tend to take a little bit longer.
got another modified eliminator coming out. The Generator Super Center, idling the side of the racetrack here at Firebird Lake. Wild Horse Pass Raceway at the Drag Boat Nationals. Sanctioned by the Southern Drag Boat Association. This is Mama's Midlife Crisis. Carrie Alt, Jeff, and Jacob all be looking on out of Tucson, Arizona. So Mama's Midlife Crisis. Carrie Alt.
I like that. That's a good name.
Racing out of the ADBA. And again, as David mentioned last night at the drivers' meeting, we got representatives from every organization throughout the United States racing here this weekend. But I'll tell you what, Carrie Alt with some problems.
It acted like it wanted to go, but it didn't want to go for very long.
And she'll click it off.
So we're going to need Carrie Olt's trailer back to the N-ramp, please. Carrie Olt's trailer back to the N-ramp. Boat number 612A, trailer back to the N-ramp, please. So, bummer. That run will not count toward qualifying for Carrie Olt.
So as they are in the process of towing Carrie Alt, out of harm's way, we have our next pair getting ready to run down the racetrack. Let's fire me up. Sammy V. Via Vicenzio. Sammy Via Vicenzio. Good Irish name, right, Cole?
If you say so.
Italian all the way, man. Talked to him yesterday as he went through tech. So Fire Me Up is going to be in the right lane. Got to produce more. The Greg and Melanie Johnson machine, driven by Scott Dozel. The Got to Produce More. They will be looking for that 7-second index. So got to produce more. Generator, Super Center, side of the racetrack. Fire Me Up. Sammy V, the Extreme Motor Oil and Fuel Machine. Hey, keep in mind, high-octane racing fuel made available to you. We got the man from Sunoco Race Fuels down in the lower pit area on the very southernmost end So he's been here since 7:30 this morning, serving up that high-octane fuel. So if you want to get with some high-octane racing fuel, you can
That
stop
is,
down there.
I do believe that Warren Wright with Sunoco Race Fuel is the man that's here selling fuel. So thank you to Warren, his beautiful wife, always traveling the country with him to provide fuel to our racers. So we appreciate you, Warren, for everything that you do. So if you need some fuel, go see Warren Wright with Sunoco.
And I believe his daughter lives here. So so he's turned his final race into a little bit of a vacation, checking out some family. So good to have the SDBA family out here at Wild Horse Pass Raceway. So a couple of top eliminators. This is the 7-second index. That's the number they're going to be looking for. We've only seen one top eliminator go down the racetrack so far. Fire me up. Sammy V. Alongside, gotta produce more. Scott Golza.
Phew.
Fire
Wow.
me up. Man, I'm telling you what, he was fired up. Sammy V runs a 7:021, 120.91 in the mile an hour. Boy, what a shot out of the box.
But look at Scott Dolezal. 689.7, 115 miles an hour. Way too quick on the index, but man, that thing was a rocket ship down the racetrack. Sammy V, a beautiful run, and it'll put him in the #1 qualifying spot here in Top Eliminator.
You know, it's crazy to say, got to produce more. He's got to produce just a little less.
Right? Man, this good weather and this good water. And so, so everybody in the pits that's listening to all these breakouts and everything, the guys who are coming up, like quick eliminator and everything, they're going and taking just a few degrees of time and out, you know, just calm it down just a little bit because it seems like it's really quick out here this morning.
Metal Warfare. Shay Harrington's going to be in the Extreme Motor Oil, Racing Oil, and Fuel lane. That's the Sanger Hydro 500. Chevrolet Heinz Brothers Automotive. Heinz Brothers Automotive. West Marine. Daryl Nichols Fabrication. Shane Radford Real Estate. Special thanks to Mom, Dad, Kyle, Emma, Quinn, Daryl helping out.
Don Blaney driving, stepping up over in the Generator Super Center. Left-hand lane out of Seal Beach, California. He'll be alongside of Shay Harrington. Looking for 7.000 on the scoreboard. Current #1 qualifier, 7:02 with a 1. Don Blaney, how about 7:32 with a 2, 107.92 miles an hour for the #3 spot. Shay Harrington, 7:072, 116 miles an hour, and that'll go to the #2 qualifying spot. Now remember, this is just the first session of qualifying. Still 3 sessions of qualifying to come. 1 more today, and I do believe 2 more tomorrow. So plenty of time to, look over the notes and try to figure out what to do with the tune-up to get that #1 spot. But really, all this is just for race day on Sunday. You really want to have the best possible setup going into race day on Sunday because everybody wants that historic trophy from here at Firebird Lake Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. And you can tell because these guys are just absolutely killing it out here this morning already in the first session. So Carrie Alt going to try it again in Mama's Midlife Crisis. The modified eliminator boat that had the issues off of the starting line a while ago. Well, she started it in gear. Kerry going to idle down the racetrack, started the boat in gear. So as soon as that happened, it just kind of started drifting forward and never really getting on throttle. A 21-second elapsed time. But that'll get her on the qualifying sheet in the number 10 qualifying spot. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, you bet Jeff and Jacob are going to be over there wanting to get their hands on that boat. That's one of the tough things about drag boat racing. If they have an issue and they're out on the holding rope, it's not like you can have a crew member jump in there, make a quick adjustment, or
exactly
connect a wire or anything like that. So you got to deal with it all on your own. You got to make sure everything is prepared before you go to the holding rope. It's a tough sport.
I agree. So here comes our next pair. Jerry Branham driving the machine they call Back in Black. That one always gets me every time. The Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane out of Tyler, Texas. Jerry, your 2021 Top Eliminator High Points champion in the Southern Drag Boat Association. And Sean Rogers, the Barbarian, the name of the boat, over in the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. A couple of TE boats still chasing the number 1 qualifier, Sammy V. Sammy V still sitting on top. Jerry Branham, 7077, 117 miles an hour. A bunch of sevens in that one. Number 3 qualifying spot for now. Only 19 thousandths of a second red for Jerry Branham. So he'll go to the number 3 spot. Sean Rogers, 726.8, 109.62 miles an hour for the number 4 qualifying spot. A couple of pretty nice runs. I think both of them will be pretty happy with that, Jerry. Just pushing the tree just a little bit to find his number. And he's got a pretty good hot rod underneath him again, just like he has all year long.
So next out will be the green machine, Matt Rogers, the ringleader. I like the name of that boat. Looking for that 7-second number. Ken Petrovich, the Orion machine, just like the, as he said in the stars. He says he could feel it in the stars yesterday. He's determined to get the win here. Will he see it in the stars? We'll have to watch and see here on this first run, the Orion Petrovich machine. Don't have a lot of the information punched in yet as to where they're from, but all that information will come here shortly. They're over there inputting all the many sponsors and all the information, crew members, and all kinds of interesting tidbits of information as we have this pair of top eliminators getting ready to make their way down the race course. In the object here, hit that 7-second number as close to and not run under as possible. Flat bottom in that near lane. The Rogers machine, the ringleader. Petrovich, the Orion boat, running that hydro on the left. Got a great story to tell you about a boat that could be yours after this weekend. I'll tell you about that here in a little bit.
Two very nice runs, 720 with a 3, 116.63 miles an hour from Matt Rogers. Go to the number 4 spot with that. Ken Petrovich, 727.1 at 108.54 miles an hour, and 2 spots below Matt Rogers in number 6. So this is the final call for Pro Eliminator. Absolute last and final call, Pro Eliminator. I need Quick Eliminator. Quick Eliminator needs you guys to the in-ramp, please. Quick Eliminator needs to the in-ramp. Blown gas flats, be on standby. Pro Comp flats, be getting them warmed up. Blown gas flats, be on standby. Pro Comp flats, be getting them warmed up. Quick Eliminator to the in-ramp.
actually, Colton, there's an opportunity for you this weekend to win a boat. That's right, win a boat.
Well,
They're
I get to
gonna
win one? I don't have to pay for it?
Absolutely. And in fact, you might even get an opportunity to have it delivered to your door.
Really?
Compliments of David Carroll. They've got a bullet boat. They're going to sell 100 raffle tickets, $250 a ticket.
Oh, yeah, I'm out.
And once they, oh, come on, man. Hey, what if we do this? I mean,
I'm a professional
Tanya,
announcer. I eat, Spam every day because that's
Yeah.
all I can afford.
Well, Tanya, you and I could all pitch in, and then, we'll
I
buy a
wouldn't-
raffle ticket. We'll get maybe 5 people to get
I
Jared in
wouldn't
there.
drive it. I wouldn't drive the boat even if I did win it.
Oh, well, I'm not saying it's coming with a motor now. We might have to get an oar for you or something,
No, I would end up selling the boat and making some money. But
There you
no, because these guys, I have so much respect for what everybody out here does because boat racing absolutely scares me to death. It scares me to death, but at the same time, I absolutely love it. And it's the most fun sport on the planet. But these guys are crazy, and I tell them all the time. I love you guys to death, like my own family, but you guys are nuts.
Yeah, and Jared had said that to me. He goes, every time he looks around, you're jumping behind him.
Oh,
they
yeah.
say you're flinching.
I do
Like,
well,
oh,
and it's part of it is because I do consider most of these people out here family. So whenever the boat does something funky out there, it does scare me.
Well, Danger Zone's going to be in the right lane. Great name for a boat. Danger Zone. William Erklands, and he from American Canyon, California, up there in the Bay Area. And Pure Sin, Brady Kimbrough, is going to be in that left side out of Houston, Texas.
He's a long way away from home, just like me. Brady Kimbrough out of the Houston area.
But you got to be 3 hours on the other side.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right lane gets there first, but a too quick 696.4, 127.
Look at that speed.
Man, I'm telling you, really winding it up there, 127.68. And not a too quick run left lane was 679.3 and 117.61. Interesting how they achieve those numbers, and the mile an hour is so different. It's
That
how they
outboard boat.
produce their speed
Yeah.
at different points on the race course.
Man, that's insane. 10 mile an hour faster for William than Brady. I mean, wow. Couple of breakouts, though, so that both of them will go to the bottom of the qualifying sheet. Whoever broke out more than the other one will go further down the list, so on and so forth. So Brady Kimbrough, number 11, and William Erklands, number 9.
So you got Bad Temper, Carl Snyder. He's going to be in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel lane. That's the right side of the racetrack here at Firebird Lake, Wild Horse Pass Raceway. Riser above, Bill Frew. Bill Frew. Going to be looking to go to the top in the 7-second top eliminator category.
Sammy V is still holding on to the top spot, and he's been holding on to it for quite a while. I mean, he was one of the early pairs out the first session in top eliminator.
Talk about setting the tone. He was the first one down the racetrack. Actually, I should say the second. There was one top eliminator that ran in the previous category. Sammy V's on top right now, but there's a couple guys that like to knock him out of that number 1 position. All they got to do is run quicker than a 7:02.
Oh man, that left lane. I didn't know if we were at PBR or if we were at SDBA. I don't know what that was. 8 flat with a 2. 73 miles an hour for Bill. He got way out of the throttle because that thing was absolutely all over the place down there on him. Carl Snyder, 7:15.0, 101.20 miles an hour. Bill Frew will go to number 10, and Carl Snyder will go to number 4. But did you see that thing whenever it got down there? The further down the track it got, yeah, man, it just got weird.
It was rocking.
And it does. It scares me to death. It does. But there's nothing else in the world I'd rather do than sit here and get to watch these gladiators go at it. You know, every race. It's just truly spectacular. So, not necessarily a nice run for Bill Frew. Definitely not what he wanted. But Carl Snyder, I think he'll be pretty happy with that. 7:15 to 101 miles an hour.
Don't care what they say. I've been working too hard lately. Feel like I'm going crazy. I need some time in the sun rays. And I say on and on. 'Cause there you go again, my baby. Your eyes illuminate me. Just wanna be by your side. Take me away. Want to go somewhere special. Far from this place. Don't let me down, down. Hard to think straight. When you look like an angel, my sweet escape. Don't let me down, down.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
Quick Eliminator runs on a 6-second index. We just seen our top eliminators. That was the 7-second index. Then we're going to come up with some blown gas flats. Got a whole bunch of the West Coast boys rolling into town. So our next category, taking their positions out on the holding rope. So here we got the Wicked Pickle. This is Tanya Scribner. Tara came out earlier and ran. Tanya looking for that 7-second index. A couple more of the tops. Mr. Grinch, Josh Urshan. Urshan from Apache Junction. You can see the mountains out there at the base of Apache Junction. So the young lady in the near lane, Wicked Pickle.
.748.6, 101 miles an hour for Josh Urshan. Tanya goes 7:08 with a 6, 118 miles an hour for the number 4 spot. Josh a little bit slow off the index, goes down to the number 11 position in qualifying. Tanya Scribner, 7:08.6, 118 miles an hour. Pretty big speed out of that boat over here in the right-hand lane.
Well, it's Miller time out of El Reno, Oklahoma. The Miller Excavating, Hoffman Performance, Smoke on the Water Machine.
Matt Miller, my buddy. Fire hydrant, Matt Miller. That's a long haul from El Reno, Oklahoma, and I'm so glad to see those guys here. Put some laughing gas on that boat. Let's see what it is. 7:14.3, 111.02 miles an hour. for Matt Miller. The laughing gas seemed to pay off for the fire hydrant. 7:14, 311 miles an hour for Matt Miller. All right, so a little bit more shuffling. Don't know if we're quite ready to go into quick eliminator. We'll get a breakdown of how many boats are in each class after the first session of qualifying. We'll have a better idea of how many boats we're looking at. We are just a couple of classes away from going into our capsule boats for the first time of the weekend. Bear with us for just a second. Everybody watching on Racer H2O, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope wherever you are that you are healthy, you are safe, and you are having a good time watching us have fun out here in Chandler, Arizona. Wish you guys were here. And if you're anywhere within 1,000 miles of Chandler, Arizona, you need to get out of the Parker Lounger and come down here and enjoy the beautiful weather. They're really fast boats, and we're having fun.
1,000 miles, so that way they can make it for Sunday's eliminations.
Exactly.
There you go. Or just drive straight through.
Yeah.
I believe they have one more golf cart left for rent. So that's golf cart rentals right behind the timing and scoring here just off the starting line area. Some folks have been coming up. They had not turned in their info announcer cards, and they're bringing them up here. Also, they got a really cool text system that we've implemented here this weekend. So we can text you to the lanes in case you're out there somewhere cruising around. You didn't catch us on one of the
we do not sell your phone numbers, you know, to the big, you know, like how everybody else does, Facebook and everything. We don't do that. So if you would like to get the text messages to let you know when to come to the ramp or any other crucial information you need to know, come get a sheet, fill out the sheet, and we'll get you put into the text.
Abracadabra. This guy can reach out and grab you. He's got a lot of championships to his credit. Bob Prigmore out of Lake Havasu. So Pro Eliminators, the category. Peterson Plays Craft, DNE, Big Block Chevrolet, 572 cubic inches. DNE Motorsports Development, Costa Mesa, California. Peterson Boat Specialties, located in Lake Havasu City. Marine Performance Designs in Costa Mesa, California. Kornowski Custom Marine in Lake Havasu, and Main Stitch Upholstery. So he, of course, based in Lake Havasu City. Glad to see Bob Prigmore back out with us. He, in fact, had a stroke, and so he's back out racing for the first time in quite a while. Distraction, Kevin Foote in that left lane. He's a real tough competitor. In fact, he's made a few events out on the West Coast. He raced, I believe, with the SDBA, and also joined you, Colton, in an SDBA event.
Yeah, we sure did, and we were so glad to have Kevin Foote and them out there racing along with us. So we're now in his neck of the woods. He came over to our neck of the woods. Now we're over in his neck of the woods. He's out of Parker, Arizona, the Pirates Den Resort, Sundance RV Resort, and Parker Auto. He'll be in the Generator Super Center, left-hand lane driving distraction. Kevin Foote looking for 6.500 on the index. I need blown gas flats. Blown gas flats. I need you guys to the end ramp, please. Final call, quick eliminator. Blown gas flat to the end ramp. Pro Outlaw, begin them warmed up. Kevin Foote, 6:57 with a 9 at 129 miles an hour. He'll go to the number 1 spot after 2 boats. 7:11 with a 1, 113.24 miles an hour for Bob Prigmore. But Kevin Foote, 7:57, just 700ths of a second off the Pro Eliminator Index. I believe we've got a pretty good amount of Pro Eliminator boats out here in Arizona as well. So this is going to be a really, really fun class to watch. Once again, absolute last final call for Quick Eliminator. Blown Gas Flats. I need you guys to the in-ramp, please. Blown Gas Flats to the in-ramp. Pro Comp Flats, be on standby. Pro Outlaw, be getting them warmed up. I know who this is coming up in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. Yep, that's exactly who I thought it was. Out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma, driving the beer budget, Mr. Jeff Bailey, the Grand Poobah of the Oklahoma Hot Boat Association, being the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. And Cole Billings, driving Gunslinger. Now that is a cool name for a boat. I love that. Cole Billings, Gunslinger, over in the Generator Supercenter, left-hand lane. Jeff, of course, if you are interested in traveling a little bit and going to some outlaw drag boat races in 2022, I recommend the Oklahoma Hot Boat Association events in Stroud and Smoke on the Water in El Reno, Oklahoma, that happen every year. They're, kind of one-off events. I do believe that Jeff and them have 2 events every year. Where's Jennifer? Jennifer Bailey, are you around here somewhere? They're awesome people, and I'm so glad that they're out here. All right, so getting them fired up. The nitrous boat in the right side, the blower boat in the left. Countdown clock at 15 seconds. Nice run, Jeff Bailey. 6:48.7, 126 miles an hour for Jeff Bailey. Cole Billings, 6:50 with a 1, 122 miles an hour. Say hello to your new number 1 qualifier in Pro Eliminator, and that's going to be a tough one to get around right there. 6:50 with a 1, 122.83 miles an hour. Cole Billings and the Gunslinger just unloaded that revolver right into Pro Eliminator. Jeff Bailey, a little bit too quick, 6:48.7, 126 miles an hour for the beer budget. And that's what they have kind of struggled for the last couple of races they've been to with that boat of Jeff Bailey's, and it is not struggling right here. 6:48, 126, a nice run for the beer budget team. But Cole Billings, new number 1 qualifier after just a few boats in Pro Eliminator, but that is going to be so tough to beat. And Cole Billings was only 9,000ths of a second red on the tree as well. That could be a deadly combination come eliminations.
Yikes. Extreme Racing Oil. Fuel, side of the racetrack. Scott Peterson. Chris Yates doing the driving of the Yikes machine, coming out of that right lane. The 501C machine, Mad Hatter. Mike Byerly. Number 488 in the left lane, Generator Supercenter, side of the racetrack. Looking for that 650 number. Cole Billings. I don't know, sitting pretty comfortable with that 650 with a 1. That number 1 spot right now. Can win from anywhere on the ladder, but they want to hit that number. So again, looking for that 650 number. How about a 622 with a 5? Yikes. Chris Yates, way too quick there. He's got to slow it down some, 140.92 in a mile an hour. While the left lane, Mad Hatter, Mike Byerly, goes through it with a 7-second even run, 7.002 at 126.63. That'll be good for the number 3 spot. Keep in mind, when you run under the number, you drop to the bottom of the ladder. So he will sit in the number 6 spot for now. Yikes, Chris Yates with that too quick 6:22.5. So we got the game changer, Justin Schmidt, coming out of that right lane. Out of control, Jim the Hound Dog Howard. So Jim Howard. McLogan Supply, Hound Dog Racing, Reese Motorsports, Typhoon Cooling, Lifeline, Bear Trailer. Thanks to the Out of Control crew, Hound Dog crew, RMS crew for making this happen. The Hound Dog Jet Ski Nation for all the race teams that help out throughout the year. Thanks to the SDBA for this race to get all the clubs together. Thanks, Gil, for being me, helping him through the years. I always get that wrong. You know, helping me, he's helping him.
Well, the Hound Dog stopped barking. Well, Jim didn't move off the hold rope. Justin Smith goes 6:43.1, 134.57 miles an hour for him. Would be the number 6 qualifying spot right now. Justin Smith making a nice run down the racetrack, but something happened to the Hound Dog. Never moved off the hold rope. Hopefully he'll get another shot at it right here. The boat is A-OK.
You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, never
we
even fired.
being located right off the starting line area, and it's not like he's moving things around in there or anything. Gary Gray out on the starter's barge, getting up close and with the Garrett Breistig machine, the trophy wife, out of that right lane, out of Riverside, California. You know, it's interesting. A lot of racers like to come real close to the barge. We'll see possibly here, out of control, Jim Hound Dog Howard sitting there. So hopefully whatever his problem was, he resolved it out there, and he'll get a shot at running down the racetrack here alongside the trophy wife, Garrett Breistig.
Looking like more issues for the Hound Dog, Jim Howard. They're on the left side of the of the liquid drag strip. It looks like it might be another solo for Garrett Breistig. Yep. Garrett Breistig 646.2, 120.39 miles an hour. 17 thou red on the Christmas tree. Jim, the Hound Dog, still having issues out there. Doesn't look like he's really in a panic, or, I mean, he is looking behind him, saying what in the world is going on, but all right, so bear with us for just a second as our computer screens are going to go out. We're going to update the software on these computers. So we will not have any information. So Johnny Moto starting to warm up a little bit. You know, starting to get later in the day. What I could smell. Who was? Oh man, they had to do that to us.
Yeah, Matt, what do you got going over there?
They had to do it to us, didn't they? Oh man, that's torture. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the El Tacome taco stand that's open up right now. They're going to be serving up some breakfast burritos for a while, and then they're going to flip to their lunch menu about 11 o'clock. Well, I'll tell you what, such a beautiful morning here at Wild Horse Pass Raceway.
It is. It really was, especially when I first wake up and it's like 55, 56 degrees. You know, it's got a little chill in the air. But as soon as you get out here, and it's just, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I told my mom whenever I got here last night, I said, hey, you know, why don't we just move to Arizona? You know, why not? I mean, we'd leave the heat and humidity. I mean, it gets hot here in the summertime, don't get me wrong, but it's a different heat, you know. And back in Louisiana, you can just about taste the water in the air when it gets hot during the summertime. And gosh, it gets horrible. You guys here in Arizona, this is absolutely beautiful.
But, you know,
beautiful weather.
Cold. I mean, you taste the water in the air, you know, with the ditch crickets and, you know, the corn and the sausage and everything. I mean,
that's ditch crickets? Is that what?
Yeah, ditch crickets. That's what those little things that back up and they turn red when they cook them. What are those things?
Crawfish?
Crawfish. There it is. Ditch crickets.
We don't call them ditch crickets.
Oh, gosh.
They're called mud bugs.
Oh, mud bugs. Okay.
They are mud bugs, crawdaddies, any of that stuff. I've never heard them called ditch crickets. That's funny. All right, so here comes Hot Shot. Dave Lipinski owns it, drives it. He's over here in the Extreme Racing Oil right-hand lane out of Madera, California, our 2021 SDBA High Points Champion in Pro Eliminator. Special thanks to Jerry Feisler for everything he does. Auto Machine Specialties of Fresno, hands-on hydroponics, Hot Shot Racing. I'd like to thank Jarrett Scooby, Ronald and Mike for their help in the 2021 SDBA season. Also David Carroll for making these races happen with all of his associations. Also, what a better way to spend your 72nd birthday. No, that was at the last race. I don't think we've taken that off of his announcer card yet. But she clicks it off a little bit early. 6:37.2. 126 miles an hour, and he did click it early and still goes 6:37.2. 126 miles an hour. It was flying. It was fast. Way too fast on that 650 index. Dave Lipinski, the hot shot. What a shot that was.
And, you know, actually, Dave Lipinski, who's based in Madera, California, he parks that boat in Texas over the summer, and he raced all the races, I believe, with the SDBA and won the championship. So he definitely found a home down south, even though he lives up there in Madera, California. You know, fuel's cheaper anywhere other than California, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely cheaper to just hop on a plane,
Yeah.
you know, fly to Texas.
So we got our next machines taking their positions out in the holding rope. Hey, don't forget on Facebook, RacerH2O.com. You can watch the live stream. Of course, you all that can hear us on a speaker don't have any reason not to.
Poor people.
Yeah, you can.
At
Of course,
least
you
for
can
me.
actually look at some of the events that we've had on the SDBA. They do a fantastic job of doing live streaming and hear.
The best job in the country. Best live stream.
Absolutely.
I swear to you. They are awesome people. Not only do they put awesome products out, awesome people as well. Yeah, every race that we've had this season, I do believe you can go back on the YouTube channel, Racer H2O YouTube channel. They are all archived in there, so you can. Sadly, you'll have to listen to me at every one of them, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. So here comes our first pair of quick eliminator. Fort Mojave, Arizona, driving a hydro quarter zone. I like that. Mark Reese, the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. Quick eliminator, of course, our 6 flat index. And Wes Kahn driving Crazy Train over in the Generator Super Center left-hand lane. Thank you to Matt Brown Trucking, Jet Performance, RB Props, Bits Custom Boats, IE Engineering, NW Oil, Greyhawk Sweeping, Dozy Custom Paint, CMC Machine, Cons Custom Marine, Brian's Fine Finish. Special thanks to his wife, Cherish, Brian, Dave, and Kelly, Matt Brown, Dan Nelson, Bill Diaz, Brian Nelson, Brian Jr., and Kelso. Wes Kahn, left side, Mark Reese, right side. 6 flat, the target.
So Crazy Train, how about a 6:09.6, 137.84 in a mile an hour. But that right lane, Hydro Quarter Zone, the Mark Reese machine with a quicker 6:015, 147.09 miles an hour, and that's good for the number 1 spot. Better reaction time coming from the Crazy Train, even though he got there first. The better qualifying effort coming from the Mark Reese machine in that Extreme Racing Fuel and Oil lane.
Final call for blown gas flats. Final call, blown gas flats to the in-ramp. I need Pro Cop flats. Pro Cop flats to the in-ramp. Pro Outlaw be on standby. Pro Modified be getting them warmed up. Pro Mods be warming them up. Pro Cop flats. I need you guys to the in-ramp, please. All right, so getting our next pair. This is one of my favorite classes just because 150 miles an hour in an open boat in 1,000 feet is just absolutely crazy. And but some of the best drivers that you will find drive these boats because sometimes nothing goes as smooth as you plan on it. And these guys flat know how to drive. Guys and gals, don't get me wrong. These are some of the best racing happens right here in Quick Eliminator. It is a 6 flat index category, but running 6 flat to the 1,000 foot at 150 miles an hour in an open boat. So, whenever you tell your buddy, hey, my Ford Mustang will go 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds or whatever it is, yeah, these guys go 0 to 150 in 6 seconds.
And you got all different combinations, whatever you can produce, whatever power adder that you want to throw at it to get that 6-second
Exactly.
index hit.
So you'll see some nitrous boats out here, a lot of blower boats and quick eliminator. But seriously, some of the greatest looking machines, some of the greatest engineered machines on the property, right here in quick eliminator. So Jeremy Smith and Larry Flores. Larry driving Hydroclimatic, the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel, right-hand lane out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. For Dynamic Racing Engines, Pine Top Construction, Tom for the hard work, wife Kim and the good Lord above. And Jeremy Smith driving Bad Influence, Generator Super Center, left-hand lane. Look at 591.7, 141 miles an hour. Jeremy Smith a little too quick on the index. He will go to the bottom of the sheet in the number 4 spot. And Larry Flores, 614.1, 143.23 miles an hour. Going to put him third best as it sits right now. Wes Conn above him. And, of course, Mark Reese with that amazing 601 is in the number 1 spot. So Jeremy Smith, 062 reaction time and goes 591.7 at 141 miles an hour. Go a little quick and go to the bottom of the sheet. Nice run for Larry Flores. I do believe that they will be happy with that. Larry's run with us at the SDBA a couple of times this year, and now it's another one of those situations where we're in his neck of the woods now, and we're really excited about being here. And these guys are looking to show out, and defend the home turf, as it will.
So next pair of quick eliminators. The right lane is going to feature Senseless. Senseless, boat 631. While the left lane, Let's Rumble. Steve Dickerman from Blythe, California. Let's Rumble.
Oh, it's rumbling all right. They sound absolutely amazing. Countdown clock, 5 seconds. Ooh, that was ugly on both sides of the racetrack. Steve Dickerman, I don't know what happened, but you heard the blower motor go silent. Gary Davis, as soon as he stepped on the throttle, he didn't have it in gear, so he reaches over, pulls it down into gear, and then got probably about to the 8th mile and got out of the throttle. 628.7, only 115 miles an hour for Gary Davis. Steve Dickerman is 638.6 at only 108 miles an hour for him. Gary Davis, right now, your number 4 qualifier, and Steve Dickerman, your number 5 qualifier. But that wasn't what either one of them wanted out there. Oh, here comes one of the most colorful guys in all of drag boat racing. Over here in the Generator Super Center left-hand lane out of Midland, Texas, Mr. Steve Pruitt driving the boat he calls Hold My Beer and Watch This. Dedicated to all the veterans and fighting forces who answer the call. Dave and Jana Wilson, Lilly Construction, Westar Autoplex, Light O Properties LLC. Special thanks to the Wildman Wayman Pitchford, Camel Towing. Yeah. The 2-time world champion, 2-time driver of the year. Steve Pruitt be over there in that left lane. Procom Flats, we need you guys to the in-ramp, please. Procom Flats to the in-ramp. And Purple Haze Racing over here in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. That's David Wehunt. Driving for the Marshall Tucker Band. Super Clean, NGK Spark Plugs, GS Extreme Custom T-shirts, covers by Mike, Southeastern Marine, D&W Entertainment. Purple Haze and Hold My Beer and Watch This. Good to see Steve Pruitt back in the boat as well. Both of them out of the throttle early. Getting a little squirrely out there. Steve Pruitt, 638.5, only 123. And David Wehunt was way out of the throttle early, 676 at only 91 miles an hour. David's number 7 right now, number 5 qualifier, Steve Pruitt. Neither one of them to the floor all the way through the finish line. Everybody trying to readjust. It's been a while since a lot of these competitors have been to Firebird Lake here at Wild Horse Pass. So, and they'll tell you really quick, it's different water here than it is everywhere else. It's good water, just different. And so that throws a monkey wrench in some of your tune-ups sometimes. So go back and look at all of it again, figure it out, and come on back for the second session of qualifying. Steve Pruitt, David Wehunt, 5 and 7 respectively. Don't forget our event t-shirts for sale. You're definitely going to want an event t-shirt from the 2021 Drag Boat Nationals here at Firebird Lake. We have them for sale. I'm not exactly sure where they're set up at, but I guarantee you ask enough people they can figure out. And I will find out and let you guys know as soon as I do. But we do have event t-shirts on property, and they will go fast, so you're going to want to get one pretty quick. Here comes Sam Nacees, driving Critical Mass, the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane. Nacees to be alongside of Tommy the Lunchbox Rice, driving for David Carroll. Electro Freeze of Texas, Bruce and Bobby Wicker, WCR Construction, David and Deb Carroll, Gary Watson, Chris and Leanne Allen. Tommy Rice, the Electro Freeze Special, will be in the Generator Super Center left-hand lane. He gets pulled into position. Sam Nacees, driving Critical Mass. Chris Irick, come to the timing tower, please. Chris Irick, come to the timing tower, please.
So Colton, you mean if I want a event shirt 5X, I might think about getting one now because they might only have a couple dozen of them?
Oh yeah, yeah. Our event T-shirts, they go quick at every race we go to, and I do not expect it to be any different at this one.
Geez, I think only 36 days till Christmas, something like that. I don't know.
Is that what it is, really?
Oh, it's getting
Wow.
close. I don't need a 5X, by the way. I'll maybe just.
I do.
Oh, okay. Sam Nacees, Critical Mass, Electro Freeze Special, Tommy Rice.
Nice runs for both. 6'10" with a 5, 141 miles an hour for Sam Nacees. Tommy Rice, 6'043", 144.44 miles an hour. That'll put Tommy in the number 2 spot. Sam Nacees, a nice run for him, and he will go to 4th. But Mark Reese still sitting in the number 1 qualifying spot. And I do believe that this might be our last quick eliminator boat that can knock him off. It's Robert Anderson, the boat called Mutual Funds. He's out of Huffman, Texas. For Coyote Ready Mix, Huffman Performance, Jeff Gibson Insurance, Task Construction, Miller Excavation, B&D Waterland, Nitrous Outlet, Go Lithium Batteries, Pat Hobbs Manufactured Homes, shout out. Oh, no, that was the last race again. We haven't got that off of there. Sid Anderson, of course, at our last race was celebrating a birthday, and it's still on the announcer card. Got to take that off of there. But Robert Anderson, Mutual Funds. It's nice to see him back out here. Because before El Reno, he didn't race for quite a few races. So good to see Robert here in Phoenix. Final call, Pro Comp Flats. Final call, Pro Comp Flats to the in-ramp. I need Pro Outlaw. Pro Outlaw. I need you guys to the in-ramp, please. Pro Outlaw to the in-ramp. Pro Modified, be on standby. Alcohol Flats, get them warmed up. Alcohol Flats, get them warmed up. Pro Outlaw to the in-ramp. So you can hear the nitrous purge going on out there for Robert Anderson. There's going to be a whole lot of laughing gas flowing through that Huffman Performance engine. Here we go. Well, okay, well, let's reset it and try again. How about that, Robert? Oh, no, that's not all the quick eliminators we got. It's just all that's out there. A couple more being pulled to the hold rope. Robert Anderson obviously had trouble, so the countdown clock will restart back at 30 seconds. .97.5, 123 miles an hour, Robert Anderson. That Huffman Performance boat was moving. 037 reaction time. Mutual Funds, what a nice pass that was for them. 597, 123 miles an hour. Missed it by 25 thousandths of a second from being a perfect run and a #1 qualifier. A nice run, Robert. And the team, they'll be happy with that. As Ray Mills and Ken Jenkins will be the next two down the water. Ray Mills driving Blue Thunder out of Choctaw, Oklahoma for Landing Zone, Booger Reds, Ghost Rider Saloon, the Country Club, Dr. Feels Good, and special thanks to Mama Cheryl and the crew and Hanson Racing Engines. And Ken Jenkins driving Through the Fire for Causeway Marina. Racing for Brian Beadle, Uncle Tom, and everyone watching from home. Ken Jenkins, of course, your 2021 Quick Eliminator High Points champion in the Southern Drag Boat Association. So glad that he made the haul out here. What a fantastic season Ken Jenkins had. And Jeremy Parsley, I don't know if you're back at home watching or if you're actually here. But Jeremy Parsley helping Ken Jenkins with the tune-up on this boat. So as soon as both of them get into position and get ready, give the thumbs up to Gary Gray. He will tell us to go yellow. Couple of nice runs. Ray Mills 656.8, 122 miles an hour. Ken Jenkins 6030, 132.12 miles an hour. and he will go right below Mark Reese in the qualifying order. But how about Ken Jenkins? 002 on the Christmas tree, first hit at the track.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he does that all weekend, he might be good for the trophy run, that's
Wow.
for sure.
That was awesome. Ray Mills, a very, very nice run for the Blue Thunder team. It was 133 on the tree, 656.8, 122 miles an hour for Ray.
Hey, don't forget as you come up out of the lower pit area, right behind the boat grandstands, we have the SDBA souvenir stand set up where they got the event shirts for sale. You might want to check those out as we get our next pair of quick eliminators ready to go down the racetrack. The nitrous one, Matt Hudson. Hudson coming out of the right lane, while the left side will feature Mass Confusion. That's Glenn Hutchinson. Hutchinson from Fair Oak, California. And the Generator Supercenter lane, the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel side of the racetrack, that right lane, featuring the Notorious One, Matt Hudson. So 6 seconds the index. Mark Reese sitting in that number one spot, having run a 6:01.5.
And on behalf of the Southern Drag Boat Association, we want to say a huge thank you to Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park for allowing us to come out here and for having this race, working so closely with David Carroll and the SDBA to get this, make it as big as it is. And we're so thankful to the racetrack and so thankful to all the fans that have come out here to watch and that are going to come out and watch. Everybody watching along Racer H2O. This is absolutely awesome. So Glenn Hutchinson and Matt Hudson. 5 seconds left. Hutchinson, 581.1, 147 miles an hour. Matt Hudson goes 590 with a 5 at 129.74. So both of them go down to the bottom. Huge breakout by Glenn Hutchinson. He will be your number 15 qualifier. Matt Hudson, your number 14 qualifier. But just like you said a while ago, Johnny Moto, it is a lot easier to slow one down than it is to speed one up. So I think they'll be just fine with that.
Yeah, I think both of them got to be happy with those runs. Just got to tune the screw the other way.
So I do believe one more quick eliminator. I do see a blown gas flat boat out there. And this is blown gas flat is a class that I'm excited to see. Never gotten to see them before. They're usually more out here on the West Coast, and so the first chance getting to see that is going to be pretty cool. Oh no, this is going to be two blown gas flats side by side. Steve Westerfield, Classico, the name of the boat in the Generator Super Center, left-hand lane out of Lake Forest, California. And Kelly Reed, High Anxiety, the name of the machine over here in the Extreme Racing Oil and Fuel right-hand lane out of Hickman, California, driving for Pete Fleming, Dave Fleming, Mad Bee Farms, Low Fab, The Blower Shop, Maxima Racing Oil, ARP, Joe and Donna Peck, the crew of Michelle, Dave, Steve, Sandy, Christine, Tyler, and Woolley. So our first heads-up class of the day, Steve Westerfield and Kelly Reed. All right, so here we go. Blown gas flats, 10 seconds left on the countdown clock. You could see Kelly Reed's boat try. It was starting to pick that front end up just a little bit. Gets out of the throttle, 707.4 at 86.98 miles an hour for Kelly Reed. Steve Westerfield, 693.2, 122.52 miles an hour. So a nice run for Steve Westerfield. Of course, Kelly Reed, you saw it when it went out there. It started to come up out of the water. The nose of it started to come up. Kelly stepped off the throttle, which was probably the right thing to do.
You know, and actually you have an opportunity to check out these blown gas flats that are pretty much pitted right alongside the wall as you drop down into the pits. On either side, if you drop down behind the grandstand, you go to your right. And if you drop down over here by the timing area, you just drop down to the left. But you can check out, you got the 3 pedals in these machines. You got the up-down pedal. Very tricky machine to run.
Ooh,
and,
so tricky.
You got a great pair coming out here. You got the Butcher, Steve Penberthy. Penberthy, sponsored by, he's driving a Cole TR4. Mike Miller prepared, 572, Cubic and Chevrolet. L&H Concrete, Mike Miller Racing Engines. Westerfield Motorsports, Precision Craft Marine. Washoe Metal Fabrication, Photo Fab in Sparks, Nevada, and the Big League Racing. Special thanks also to Tony Scarlatta, Joey Gross, Tim Campbell, Shane Westerfield, Steve Westerfield, who we just seen run, Josh Patridge, and Jim Shelton. The Drag This machine coming out of that Generator Supercharger lane. Far side of the racetrack, Tommy Riggs. Going to be alongside the Butcher. I wonder if that intimidates him. Who'd you have to run?
It intimidates
the Butcher,
me.
Man. Oh, man.
I'm glad I'm not Tom Riggs, because I'd look over and I'd go, oh, wow. But you can see the dark smoke. These guys aren't allowed to run alcohol or any race gas like that. That's pump gas. And so this is what makes this class really, really entertaining and fun to watch. Here we go, Tom Riggs and Steve Penberthy. 5 seconds left. Nice run, side by side down the racetrack, 620 with a 3, 126 miles an hour for Tom Riggs. Steve Penberthy, 657.6, 104 miles an hour. Tom Riggs, that's the quickest run so far. That'll be your number 1 qualifier so far. Steve Penberthy goes to number 2, 657.6, 104 miles an hour. But both of them, nice, look like clean, straight down the racetrack, side by side. Very nice. 14 blown gas flats on property here this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great
show.
Great show. And, you know, actually that 657 on a boat that does not have a wing. So I believe one of the few boats in the category with non-wing.
Yeah, we saw Steve Westerfield, his boat also not having a wing. But that, I mean, sometimes it can be a hindrance, sometimes it can be an advantage. I mean, it just depends on your setup. But hey, I mean, whatever it is, it's working. 657 is no slouch at all.
Destination unknown. This is Sean Howard, going to be out of the Generator Supercenter lane, out of Laguna Niguel, California.
Do it. Thank you.
623.6, 130 miles an hour for Sean Howard. Nice speed, nice run. Gonna put him in the number 2 spot right below Tom Riggs. He was a half a second away from being on a red light course in that run, not counting in qualifying. He had a little bit of trouble getting the boat to start, you know, and getting going, but he's good. 623.6 at 130.5 mile an hour.
Cherry Pie. This is a machine owned by Steve Westerfield. Jeff Martin doing the driving. So Cherry Pie going to be coming out of the right side. Do you like your Cherry Pie with ice cream or whipped cream?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, really? Both?
Have you looked at me? Does it really look like I care whether it's ice cream or whipped cream?
You know what's interesting here? You got the Blown Smoke, Shane Westerfield, who's one of the top funny car drivers in the world. There's no doubt about it. Qualified number 3 over in Pomona, California at the World Finals on the Camping World Series just last weekend. But here he is. He's going to be running that far lane, the Generator Supercenter, and he owns the boat on the right side. So you think he's going to be like taking a listen to the Cherry Pie boat, Jeff Martin? Like, Jeff,
No.
don't hurt my boat.
No, he went down there and grabbed that nail, that screw, and just turned it down just a little bit. That's what he did.
Jamie, I'm sure, will be listening in. Cherry Pie, Jeff Martin, the Steve Westerfield machine, near lane, Extreme Racing Oil, fuel side of the racetrack, Generator Supercenter, featuring Blown Smoke, Shane Westerfield.
Nice run by both of them. 6:07 with a 1. 133 miles an hour for Shane Westerfield. Something, I don't know. Hold on, reset.
So, you know, it's tough from our angle, Colton.
Oh, yeah.
But evidently the Cherry Pie Jeff Martin machine.
Clip the timing block down there.
Yeah,
So no elapsed time for Jeff Martin. Just, you know, drifting out a little bit. No elapsed time for him. But Shane Westerfield, 6:07.1, 133 miles an hour, and that'll put Westerfield in the number 1 qualifying spot above Tom Riggs. So the blown smoke machine, Shane Westerfield, sitting atop the blown gas flat right now. Johnny Love, call Craig Franklin, please, on the radio. All right, so listen up. Final call to the ramp for Pro Outlaw. Final call to the ramp for Pro Outlaw. I need Pro Modified. Pro Modified. Need you to the end ramp, please. Pro Mods to the end ramp. Alcohol flats, be on standby. Top Alcohol Hydro, get them warmed up. Top Alcohol Hydro, get them warmed up. Pro Modified to the end ramp, please. All right, so we're just going to run singles in the left lane until we can get that timing sensor in the right lane fixed. So this is going to be Joshua Mockridge driving Blue Moon in the Generator Supercenter left-hand lane. Current number 1 qualifier, Shane Westfield, got to go quicker than 6:071 to take over the top spot. All right, here we go. Countdown now. Whoa! That thing made a skip, and he stepped off of it real quick. He did a really good job of catching that, though. That was instantaneous. It made that move, and he got off the throttle, coasting to a 1094 at only 36 miles an hour. All right, so it's looking like it's going to be left lane for just a little bit more until we can get down there and change out that sensor in the right lane of the racetrack. Got to keep the show moving.
This is probably one of the, if you've ever checked the internet, this guy is one of the wildest shots ever taken in a blown gas flat, where he's completely out of the water, up in the air. Jerry Yerrick's almost a normal. So Yerrick's. And I'm sure Beverly looking on as he runs through to 7:06.1. 7:06.1, 123.67 on the mile an hour for the almost normal Jerry Yerrick's machine. Jerry Yerrick's racing with the ADBA. A lot of these boats coming out of the National Jet Boat Association, which races up at Lake Ming. So again, until we repair that right side of the racetrack, we got another single coming out. This is the hair trigger, Wyatt McAllister. So Wyatt McAllister, hoping to have a hair trigger here. Have that great reaction time.
How about that? Wyatt McAllister, 6:38.4, 126.05 miles an hour. That's good for the number 4 spot in qualifying. Nice, smooth run for Wyatt McAllister. And it's fast out there. As we've seen, it's really fast and really smooth. I mean, that, and some of the most beautiful boats on the entire property are in Blown Gas Flats. I've noticed that just from watching. I haven't got a chance to go through the pits and look at all of them yet, up close and personal. But the most beautiful boats in the world, man. They're seriously, like that machine of Wyatt McAllister's is gorgeous. And they run good to boot. So I'm really enjoying this Blown Gas Flat.
Boy, I'll tell you, again, most of the boats are pitted right alongside the wall, right as you go down into the lower pit area. So the flat cooking machine, Ron Cook, in the Sean Giroux machine. Flat cooking.
And the countdown clock is going to start right now, and he's just now getting the boat fired up. So let's see if he can get going in a timely manner. He's got 5 seconds for it red lights the course. No good. He is not going to get a time because his reaction time was 6.049 seconds. So after 5 seconds, it red lights the course, and you're not allowed to run on it. So the qualifying run will not count, I don't believe. Hey, we need everybody on the road to the out ramp to kind of pick up speed a little bit, please.
Incoherent, Sam McLaughlin. The 2019 CDBA High Points champ. And Incoherent running through to 7:04.2, 115.34 in a mile an hour. The Signature Wealth Concepts, Nick Ricky Realtor, Menace Motorsports, California Fire Protection and Backflow, and Alexis Brothers sponsoring the Incoherent machine. Sam McLaughlin, 2019 CDBA High Points champion, top eliminator champion back in 2019. CDBA Rookie of the Year, Driver of the Year, Team of the Year. Man, I'll tell you, 2019 was really happening for him. All that, the pre-COVID year, right? 2019, right, Cowboy? Yeah. Okay. Rescue 1 cruising down in front of us here at the timing truck. We got some more of the Blown Gas Flats taking their positions out on the holding rope. Again, they're making an adjustment to the race course out of the right lane, so we're running singles for the time being in that left side of the racetrack. I want to thank all you racers for coming when you're called to the lanes. Got a lot of boats here, a record amount of boats. Drag boat race this 2021 season in the United States. We've got representatives from every association there is in the U.S. out here competing this weekend. Someday, again, this is not like a one-shot deal. David
no.
Carroll with the SDBA has plans, in fact, contract in hand to continue on here at Wild Horse Pass Raceway at Firebird Lake. And, you know, who knows what can come of this. We'll get a King of the Hill, the association champion of the world, and, you know, Marty down there with the Protect the Harvest.
Logan. Mm-hmm.
He's got visions. You know, he says, man, you could really put something big together here.
Oh,
of course, you know Marty. He's always putting something big together in his mind.
So we're going to make history, you know, way on in the future at least. But this is where the history starts. Is right here this weekend, Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. And it's exciting. It really is. All right, so as soon as we get everybody in position, we will send the next one down that left side of the racetrack.
You know, Colton, there's actually a pretty cool app they got out. SDBA Slips.
SDBA Slips. Yeah, you can download it from the Google Play Store or your Apple App Store, and go in there, type in your boat number, and it will pull up every run that you have made, I believe throughout the entire season. But the newest one, you know, the most recent run comes up first, and you can scroll through, and it's a very good app. SDBA Slips in the App Store, so be sure to go and download that. That's how you get your time slips this weekend. And it was a really cool deal, and we really enjoy having that, and the racers do too. You know, instead of having to send somebody up here to get a time slip every time, it's just right there in the palm of your hand. So here comes GW Golf driving Matt Brown's boat called Bottled Hell. GW out of Catoosa, Oklahoma. Matt Brown, of course, from the state of Arizona, so this is a hometown event for him. GW, he's been making the trek from Catoosa, Oklahoma to Bakersfield and running this boat in the NJBA and having some really good success with it. You know, they have a really good two-boat blown gas flat team with GW Golf and Tony Scarlatta under the Matt Brown umbrella. So GW Golf, in my opinion, one of the best drivers to ever, you know, step on the gas of a flat bottom. That is my opinion. You can sue me if you want, but it ain't gonna stick because you ain't gonna get nothing. But anyway. But GW really has a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in this guy, and he took to this blown gas flat like a fish takes to water.
And, you know, placed number 2 with the NJBA in the 2021 season, so that's pretty good. Fantastic, as a matter of fact.
Don't care what they say. I've been working too hard lately. Feel like I'm going crazy. I need some time in the surface. And I say on and on. 'Cause there you go again, my baby. Your eyes illuminate me. Just wanna be by your side. Take me away. Want to go somewhere special. Far from this place. Don't let me down, down. Hard to think straight. When you look like an angel, my sweet escape. Don't let me down, down.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
All right, so back from commercial on Racer H2O, and we are still waiting on somebody to give us a green light to send GW Golf down the racetrack. So you didn't miss anything, I promise you. Hey, rescue. The best rescue in all of drag boat racing right there, ladies and gentlemen. They do. They deserve a hand. Amazing, amazing guys that risk their own lives to save yours. Amazing, amazing people. So Johnny Love, our guy who is over setting up the race course and everything, is out there right now. We can't see that from where we're sitting, Johnny Moto, but they are out there repairing that right-hand lane right now, so that's why GW has not been sent down the racetrack.
Is that his stage name?
Johnny Love?
Johnny Love.
No, it's his real name.
Because he shows so much love,
Well, it's
passion for drag boat racing.
yeah. Yeah. No, Johnny Love is amazing. He's really good at what he does. And so out there repairing that shouldn't take but a few minutes.
I had an opportunity to work with Johnny Love at Houston Raceway Park at
Been there.
an NHRA event.
Been
So
there.
he was over there.
My very first
working with-
NHRA national event I ever went to was at Houston Raceway Park.
Which one?
2014 Spring Nationals.
All right.
The winners that weekend were Robert Height, Antron Brown, Erica Enders.
I was there that weekend. I had an opportunity when Robert Height got his funny car license. He did it
That was a
after
long
the
time
event on a Monday. A lot of times at the national events, they have testing, and that's where he got his license. Roberto was his nickname when he was a crew member. And, of course, not many people call him Roberto right now. But speaking of Spanish names, we've got El Tacon serving up some delectable delights, Spanish delights. So if you want to check out some Mexican food, check out the El Tacon right next door to them. We have the beer tent. They've also got ice-cold Coca-Cola products. They've got Diet Coke, Coke, Sprite, and all different varieties, and also some alcoholic beverages. Of course, keep in mind, if you do partake in some alcoholic beverages today, do have a designated driver. But also, off to the finish line side of the El Tacon, where they're serving up that Mexican food, we got an ice cream stand where they got milkshakes, they got all the cones and such like that. So check them out in our concession area. And don't forget, you got to pick yourself up one of the SDBA Drag Boat Nationals event shirts. It's always good to get one of them early.
Attention, please. Benny Brawley. Benny Brawley, please come to the timing trailer, please.
So come to the timing tower, Benny Brawley. Hey, you know, up here right now is Mary Hart. Of course, Mary, Racers Emergency Support Program, very important part of drag boat racing. We got another boat firing up, and I'm going to get right back to you here in a minute. But we've got Bottled Hell, GW Golf. This is the man a lot of guys are going to be setting their sights on. He's the man who was #2 with the National Jet Boat Association in this blown gas flat category for the 2021 season. And here he comes.
.614 to 136.37 miles an hour. He is not going to knock Shane Westerfield off the top, but he is going to go to number 2 by 0.07 of a second. Shane Westerfield stays number 1. 614 to 136.37 for GW Golf. Nice start for him.
Well, I'll tell you what, the number 2 guy with the NGBA at the moment is number 2 in qualifying, right behind Shane Westerfield. So Mary Hart, Racers Emergency Support Program. And one of the infamous things that always happens here at Wild Horse Pass Raceway is the auction and such, but we're not having that this weekend to procure funds for the Emergency Support Program. But there are other opportunities that are being presented to get funds. Tell us about it.
Yes, we have a 50-50 raffle each day going on, and then we also have T-shirts and a couple of coolers that we'll raffle off each day. 50-50 is $1, and the cooler is $5 a ticket.
So Joe Martin blasting down the racetrack in flat confused, 6:33.4, 129.34 miles an hour. Got to put him in the number 5 qualifying spot for now. But yes, everything that Ms. Mary just told you about RESP, please support the Racers Emergency Support Program because they are there for you when you need them the most. So go support them. So always support the people who support you. And RESP, the job that they do for drag boat racing is absolutely amazing. So thank you, RESP, for being there for our racers.
So, you know, if we sell a lot of tickets, Colton, this is what I'm thinking. You can win 50 grand today. You know, if we sell 100,000 tickets, I mean, you know, or more. I like that. You just said or more, right?
Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, these are the people that help you as racers. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get down there. I'm going to get some of those 50-50 tickets. I feel lucky today. I'm lucky just to be here with you, Colton.
Well, I thank you for saying that, but you know, I'll send you your $20 in just a second.
Okay.
But
tell you what I'll do. This is what I'm going to do, Colt. If I win the 50-50 drawing, and even if it's a little less than $100,000,
maybe just a little,
I'll buy you an event shirt. But hopefully I will win today's, because keep in mind, every day they're going to have a drawing, so it'll be about 2 o'clock. Because a lot of times they do it after people left the race, so you spectators can be involved in the 50-50 drawing. And keep in mind, I wouldn't buy one.
You got to buy a bunch.
You can buy 100 tickets.
A bunch.
And speaking of tickets for sale, we've got a bullet boat that's going to be raffled off. They're going to sell 100 tickets. Now, you might think at $250 a ticket, that's pricey. But this boat you could not buy for $25,000. So an opportunity to win a beautiful boat, and I believe the boat is on display down there. And I believe Mike Griffin from Trinity Ministries is the one who donated the boat. So, and David Carroll said, hey, I will deliver the boat, especially if you win it locally here. But no, he said he will make a deal with you and get it to you. So it's a really cool deal, $250. And I believe the monies go to Trinity Ministries. So it's a cool deal. Let's sell all those tickets this weekend.
Absolutely. Here comes Paul Bauer driving Angry Black. Be over in the Generator Supercenter left-hand side of Discovery Bay, California. For D21 Enterprises, Gross Racing Engines, Mad Dog Racing, Bob and Tanma MC McKenna. That might be McKenna. There's a space there, but I don't know. Thanks to the crew, Phil, Melissa, and Dave. Paul Bauer will be over there in that left-hand lane. Not quite done with the right lane. They're going to continue sending boats down that Generator Supercenter left side. And the current number 1 qualifier here in Blown Gas Flats, Shane Westerfield, hanging on to it at 6:07.1. Oh, that is all of our. Is that all of our Blown Gas Flats? Okay, so we're in Pro Comp Flats. That was our last Blown Gas Flat. So after the first session of qualifying, Shane Westerfield will be your number 1 qualifier in Blown Gas Flats, with 3 more sessions of qualifying to go after this one. 1 more today. So Paul Bauer, our first Pro Comp Flat. So these guys are just like what Stock Eliminator does. You have to put a dial in on it, and whoever runs the closest to their dial in qualifying will be your number 1 qualifier. So right here, Paul Bauer going to go for a 6:35 prediction for Paul. All right, so while we work on this right-hand lane, for those of you watching along a Racer H2O, we'll be right back from Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park.
Don't care what they say. I've been working too hard lately. Feel like I'm going crazy. I need some time in the surface. And I say on and on. 'Cause there you go again, my baby. Your eyes illuminate me. Just wanna be by your side. Take me away. Want to go somewhere special. Far from this place. Don't let me down, down. Hard to think straight. When you look like an angel, my sweet escape. Don't let me down, down.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
Welcome back, Racer H2O. We are just told by our starter Gary Gray to go yellow. So Paul Bauer, I apologize. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. Angry Black, the name of the boat. Generator Super Center in the left-hand lane. So hopefully our right lane timing sensor is fixed. We can go back to 2 wide racing. Looking for 635. .629 with a 0, 130 miles an hour for Paul. Breaking it out by 0.06 of a second, but since he is the first one down, he will be the number 1 qualifier. As of right now, there are 7 Pro Cop flats on property. And what a stacked roster it is. Got names like Frank Carter, David Merchant, Randy Cockrell. All kinds of amazing, amazing drivers. So we're still going to be going left lane only. And the next one, it'll be Randy Reynolds. The boat called It's Only Money. Over there in the Generator Super Center, left-hand lane. 6:40, his predicted elapsed time. There we go.
This will be interesting. We just seen Paul Bauer go through a little under his number, about 600. So we'll see what the performance shows here for the It's the Only Money, Randy Reynolds. See if he runs under that number first time out.
Randy Reynolds 6.668 at 124.60 miles an hour. And on that 640, as close as he was to it, you know, of course, Paul was under his dial-in, so that'll put Randy in the number 1 spot. Paul will go down to the bottom of the sheet when everything is said and done. Randy Reynolds 6.668 at 124 miles an hour. All right, we are running them through here. Here we go with our next one. Randy Cockrell. Can't get right the name of his machine. Generator Super Center left-hand lane. Looking for 7 flat here in Pro Comp. Remember, the closest to the dial-in without going quicker is your number 1 qualifier. He stayed in it a lot longer than I would have, man. That thing started just doing that little floating deal again. Randy Cockrell, 0.51 on the reaction timer. How about 7.059, 115 miles an hour, and Randy Cockrell, number 1 qualifier. Wow. That thing, did you see it when it went out there, Johnny Moto?
Man, I'll tell you, I thought he would. I would have got out of it.
Look, there was about 2.5 inches maybe of that boat in the water. That was awesome.
David Merchant is going to be out next in his flat wicked machine. Special thanks to Bruce and Bobby Wicker of Electro Freeze, George and G.W. Goff, and his beautiful wife, Dawn. So flat wicked, David Merchant. Next out, Generator Super Center, side of the racetrack. Pro Comp Flat.
So the run won't count for David Merchant. He will get an elapsed time. It was a 6:88 with a 4, 117 miles an hour. But since he had a later reaction time than a 5-second reaction time, the run will not count toward qualifying. David Merchant, 6:88 on the 680. He will have one more shot today to move up in qualifying, and of course 2 more tomorrow. So David Merchant having a little bit of trouble. The boat kind of stumbled a little bit, and he caught it before it could really leave, but he'll still get the data, still get the run and everything. It just won't count toward qualifying. Here comes flying Frank Carter, driving flat flying out of Liberty Hill, Texas for United Rentals, Magnum Trailers, Kemper's Transport. Special thanks to Joey and Cassie Smith. Gumby Performance. Frank Carter looking for 6 flat. How about 6:10 with a 6, 130.76 miles an hour for Frank Carter, and that'll put him right below Randy Cockrell in the number 2 spot. 6:10, 130 on the 6 flat. Frank Carter, nice pass for him. There are 2 Pro Comp flats left. Brian Dunn and Wes Glenn, our last 2. And then we'll go into our first capsule boat category of the day, Pro Outlaw. Here at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park, it is currently 75.5 degrees. The density altitude has went up about 1,000 feet. It's 23.28 right now. 11% humidity. Corrected barometer 30.09, so the air is still pretty heavy. Feels amazing out here at 75 degrees and about 2,000 feet above sea level once all factors are put into place. So still pretty good weather conditions out there. Wes Glenn looking for 650, driving under the influence over there in that Generator Super Center left lane. Oh, and the boat dies. Up. We go 766 at 110. Definitely not the run that he was looking for. The run will not count toward qualifying because he did have a reaction time later than 5 seconds, but he will still get the time. It seemed like he had a lot of issues getting off the hold rope right there. And that'll leave us with our last racer, driving Eye Candy, Brian Dunn.
I'm not sure.
Here we go with Brian Dunn, racing for Bullet Extreme and her performance. 6:10 predicted elapsed time for Brian Dunn. man. I don't know if that went over the speakers of Racer H2O, but that hurts me, and I don't have to pay for it or anything. Yeah, got to be either a V-drive or a transmission. Tough break, man. The eye candy machine, wounded. As you can see, rescue out there just making sure everything is all right. You can see Brian Dunn. He's looking back there and he's going, my goodness. Hopefully he can get it repaired and be back up here for the second session of qualifying. As we get him towed off the racetrack, that'll bring up Pro Outlaw. 13 Pro Outlaw boats on property. 13. That is amazing. Our 520 index capsule boat category. All right, so while we get Brian Dunn off the racetrack, Racer H2O watching along, we'll be right back with more drag boat racing.
Don't care what they say. I've been working too hard lately. Feel like I'm going crazy. I need some time in the surface. And I say on and on. 'Cause there you go again, my baby. Your eyes illuminate me. Just wanna be by your side. Take me away. Want to go somewhere special. Far from this place. Don't let me down, down. Hard to think straight. When you look like an angel, my sweet escape. Don't let me down, down.
RacerH2O.com is the place to go to find easy-to-use links to our social media. Watch, read, listen to, and enjoy our content on demand for free on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and RacerH2O.com.
right. Thank you, Teresa.
Here comes Gus Ward driving Whiskey Tango Foxtrot out of Sonora, Texas. The Generator Supercenter left-hand side, and we are looking for 5.200 up on the scoreboard. The first capsule boat for the Southern Drag Boat Association down Firebird Lake here at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. Capsule down, let's go. Whoa! Well, that didn't go as planned. Not by any means. No idea what happened there. Hopefully nothing is damaged. And I can promise you Gus is inside there and he ain't happy about it. Need Gus Ward's truck and trailer back to the in-ramp, please. Gus Ward's truck and trailer back to the in-ramp. All right, so as you can see, jet ski hooking up to him. Gonna pull Gus Ward back to the in-ramp, then we're gonna get back to racing. I do believe, it's really hard for me to see. Is that Eric DeMint out there? Nope, never mind, not Eric DeMint. There we go. That's Robert Lees out there driving Wildfire out of Climax Springs, Missouri. Haven't seen Robert Lees go down the racetrack in a hot minute, so this is cool. This is really cool. So of course, Gus going to get pulled back to the in-ramp as soon as he's clear and get the go-ahead from our safety crew. Robert Lees will rocket down the racetrack, hopefully. All right, so command was given. Go yellow. Robert Lees, Climax Springs, Missouri. Wildfire. The name of the hot rod. 10 seconds left on the countdown clock. Here we go. Well, we are 0 for 2. You call that an 0 for? All right, so we need Robert Lee's trailer back to the in-ramp as well, please. Robert Lee's trailer back to the in-ramp. All right, so Cody Childress is coming up next. And Cody, you've got to do something for it. Unfortunately.